What's good,
What's
Dave?
up,
What's
man?
going on?
What's going on, man? I've recovered.
Yeah, yeah. Rough weekend of football, man. It was tough. It was tough. But it's all good. We here. We in here. How was the weekend other than the football, Dave? How was the weekend, bro?
Nah, it was cool. I mean, I had a sick kid. My wife had surgery. It was a interesting weekend this weekend. I'm gonna be off this weekend dealing with that. I got the echo from it.
Yeah, I think I'm. It was on me. I think you should be good now.
Okay, so am I good now, guys?
You should be good now.
All right. So yeah. So overall, it was cool for what it was. I mean, happy Veterans Day to all the vets today.
Yes, yes. Happy Veterans Day, all the vets.
You know,
Oh, my fault.
that
Go ahead.
wasn't for the vets. That theme was not for the vets. But
Nah,
happy Veterans Day.
stupid ESPN, man. With these. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So like my brother was in the army. I know your dad was in the military too, right?
Yes, my dad's retired Army. Shout out to my dad. Yep, that's our military
And I
brat.
work and I work with a lot of military in my line of work. So happy Veterans Day if you're watching. Happy Veterans Day. Enjoy your day. Get your free meal.
Get all the free
Hit every
stuff.
spot imaginable. You still have time.
Get all the free stuff. Jerome, you gotta turn
All
your volume up, then B. Turn your volume up, dog.
and if you're a veteran and you're a gamer, GameStop's doing 10% for you guys. So get that thing rocking. It's 10% from now on until they go bankrupt. So get it rocking until they go down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But nah, man. What about you? How was your
Man,
weekend?
it was good, man. I ain't do nothing. Just sat around watched football. Dang, ESPN, killing me, bro. I gotta
You
close
need to
this
mute
thing.
ES, you need to mute your
I
browser.
did mute it. Yo, anyway, it was cool. I just closed it. Anyway, I was good. Just sat around watched football. I went to the Hornets Pelicans game. Did not see Zion, but I did see JJ handle business. So shout out to the New Orleans Blue Devils. Got a chance to see them. Got a chance to get on the court afterwards. And I got to see him practice before as well. So it was cool experience. But yeah, that was all I did. I ain't do much. I ain't do
Oh,
much.
that's what's up, man.
But yeah, man. So anyway, a rough weekend for A&T football too. We took a L to Morgan State. Once again, we lost. To Morgan State was what 1-8
One
and
and something.
1 and something, and we ended up losing. We lost them last year too. Got upset, but it didn't stop us. We still went to Celebration Bowl. Hopefully, that's the same outcome as this year. Terrible weekend of football.
That
And
was a
then
weird. It was a weird week in that conference too, because
yeah,
Delaware State got a win too. They
yeah,
beat Bethune.
Dell State beat Bethune. Yep, and then Central got destroyed too by Norfolk State on their homecoming. So it was cool, man. It was it is what it is. We still control our own destiny, so it's all good. Um, but all right, so let's move on. Let's move on. Um, Dave, let's talk about this game. We well before we get into the game, we gotta talk about these moves that happen. There's a lot of things happening. Little shucking and jiving from I was about to say Gettleman from Herney. Let's talk about it. So we bring in Mike Davis. Dave didn't even know 20 minutes ago we was recording the Falcons episode, and Dave didn't even know Mike Davis. We signed Mike Davis, we'll claim Mike Davis off waivers, and in that the corresponding roster move was to let go of Scott Storch or Greg Dortch. He was not active this past game, but looked okay against whoever we played, the Titans. Um, so I don't know, man. Whatever. I, what are your thoughts on this move, Dave? And talk a little bit about his contract too, because I know you had pulled that up.
Yeah, man. The Bears early this year signed him to a 2-year, $6 million deal.
Yeah.
So that means we're gonna have to retain that contract.
Yes.
But so that also tells me that either Scarlett or well, both of them probably gonna fall down that depth chart, Scarlett and Bonifant, because Mike Davis is going to second. I just for
Yeah.
those who don't know,
That's a fact.
South Carolina product, went to the University of South Carolina, He got drafted by the 49ers in like the fourth round, I believe. The kid is good. The kid is actually pretty good.
Yeah, he
He
had a
did some pretty good job with relief with Seattle last year.
yep, he had a solid year last year with Seattle. I think he had like 700 scrimmage yards. I think he had like 400 or 500 rushing yards and added 200 something receiving yards. So he can do both. He has a similar skill set to McCaffrey. Not sure. This is kind of a head scratcher though. You got Bonifant and you got Scarlett who never sniffed the field. Kind of want to see those two guys. And then again, he comes with a $3 million $3 million average contract. So I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. This one's a little bit of a head scratcher.
Is
Um,
it big? Is it as much as a head scratcher who picked up Moncrief when Josh Gordon is available?
uh, yeah,
I mean, like, I'm not
yeah,
letting that go for a little while, man,
yeah. No, I would
because he's
definitely,
playing right now. He's
yeah,
active for this Monday night game.
yeah. I don't know. I don't. This one's a bit confusing to me. I don't know. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Unless they decide to bring him in to completely split carries with McCaffrey, it's the only thing that makes sense to me. But we all know that's not happening. We know McCaffrey's getting all the snaps. But I don't know. I don't got much on this. I don't got much on this, man. It is what it is. All right, moving on. Cornelder is back, Dave, your boy. He's back. Uh,
Right.
signed him off of signed him off of the Giants practice squad, so he came back home. He's back with the Panthers. Dave, does this kind of ring alarm bells with Bradbury? I know somebody tweeted that it doesn't. There's no indication. That does not indicate. This move does not indicate a injury situation with Bradbury being worse than what we think. So I don't know. I don't know about this.
Fam,
Huh?
fam. I think it does.
I do
I,
too.
I, dude, like, you went and grabbed somebody from the Giants practice squad. Like the Giants got such a phenomenal secondary. No, all due respect to Corn, because it makes sense to go after Corn because Corn knows it. But fam, fam,
Yeah, it doesn't
concerned
make
about Mr. Berry.
don't make sense to me. Especially. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later, Dave. But yeah, so that was another move we made today. It was breaking news, and I didn't even hit the
That's okay.
daggone, I didn't even hit
It's
the
all good.
daggone button, Dave. It's all good. But we got
There'll
another
be
week.
there'll be there might be some opportunities later in this show.
Hold on, no, I think I got one coming up. I think I got one coming up. If I see, oh, there it is. Uh oh, Dave. Dave. All right, here we go. Come on. There it is. There it is, Dave. Cam Newton to IR, Dave. I know it happened. I know it happened last week. But Cam Newton officially went to IR. We did not go live because I felt like we had discussed this ad nauseum the previous episode on how we felt about Cam and how we thought he should have sat the year. But Dave, do you have any additional thoughts? And then Ian Rappaport goes on this daggone tweet storm about how we're gonna move on from Cam, and this is Cam's last year, and he heard from.
Highly likely, right?
Come on, I mean, like, come on, Panther Nation. Listen, I try to tell y'all, you gotta watch where you get your information, man. Even though it's Ian Rappaport, like, you gotta know your team at the end of the day. You gotta know your team, and just block the. At this point, you just gotta block the noise until something concrete happens. It's all fruit to me, man. It doesn't mean shit. Let this man just let this man live his life. He's on IR. Let him get healthy. Hey, it is what it is. But Dave, I know you got some thoughts on it. What do
I
you
mean,
got some thoughts
I mean,
on the Ian Rappaport breaking
I mean,
news?
it's plausible because it's a matter of whether or not. All right, I can see a multitude of scenarios, right? Because there's also some speculation that Cam might go get the surgery, even though it was recommended that he need to. So if Cam decides to go get the surgery, then that's a telltale sign that there might be a route for him to move on. Because you know he didn't want to go on there tonight because then it's about making sure he's 100%. Now, whether or not he's going to play that final year, that's a whole different scenario. But I think that's dependent on what happens this year with Kyle.
I, I do think that Kyle has uh he does have to play well, but I don't listen. Kyle is gonna be around anyway. He's an exclusive rights free agent, so he's gonna be around. He's not going anywhere. And but
Agreed.
yeah. I'm just saying. But with Cam, listen, I've said this. I've said this on 1,000 different occasions. And I think Noli posed this question to group me, and I misread it. So here's my official stance. I misread what you posted early, Noli. I thought you were talking about 2021, but for 2020, I do think Marty Herney, Rivera, Cam Newton all come back and finish out their contracts, and they all have to make their statements in order to get that extension. All of them, all three of them. And if either one of them falter, either they're all gonna go, or they all get extended. I don't think there's no circumstance under which Cam stays and then the coach gets fired. I think either they all go or they all stay. That's just my opinion. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think it only makes logical sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I do. I will say though, I think that approach is bad because you don't want to walk into the next season with a lame duck coach and a lame duck GM and a lame duck quarterback.
I think
And then
that's the only. I think that's the only option. You can't give up on Cam, especially if he's healthy. If he's gonna be healthy, you can't give up on Cam. Again, I've said it. Even his deal at 19 with 20 million, whatever it is still a steal compared to what these other quarterbacks are making. So to me, the money you make or the money you save, what are you gonna spend it on, Dave?
yeah.
I mean, like it's what do you? I don't I don't I don't know. I don't. I think they all come back and they all go or they all stay. And you keep Cam is at a discount right now. So you keep him, let him play his contract out, and move on from there. If it's not, I just don't see under any circumstance where one of them stays or the GM stays, the other two are gone, or Cam stays, the other two are gone, Rivera stays. I don't see that. I think they all come back or they all go. Just my opinion.
Some folks are saying in the chat that Cam stopped following the Panthers on
Man,
Instagram. I'm not sure if
don't look
that's
it up,
like
man.
a
Y'all, come on, man.
y'all are like really pushing
Come on, man.
hard.
Like
But I
I'm
mean,
not doing that. Like I'm not about to. Oh, he unfollowed. Man, come on, man. I'm not doing that. I think what happened. I do think what happened was he didn't want to go on IR. This is just the
now I got you there. I agree with you
yeah.
there.
I don't think he wanted to go because I think even if you read what Herney said is that they had to sit him down and tell him, hey, you're going to IR. That's why he did not want to get the surgery. He didn't want to get the surgery because he obviously the doctors told him he didn't need it, and I think he thought that he was coming back to play, and they're like, nah, Kyle. I think they thought, Kyle's gonna do okay. We're gonna see what we got in Kyle, and we just gonna let you get healthy. We're gonna protect you from yourself. Is what and that's what they should do. And I think it was the right move to put him on IR, and I don't think he wanted to go on IR. So if he unfollowed them for some certain reason, I think he got in his feelings, and it is what I think he might be a little upset. And he's a competitor. I mean, come on, man. You Cam's been wearing his emotions on his sleeve his entire career. You expect him to stop now? Come on, man. All right. So Dave, anything else here with Sir Cam Newton? I
So
just
what?
don't think
So so you're telling me
I don't think it ends
so you
like
think
this.
he's gonna be a Panther in 2020 is what you're telling me.
I do.
I
I put my what you want me to put on that, Dave? Let's put some
I
on
ain't
it.
betting no.
Let's put some on it right now. Right here, right now. Let's put some on it. Come on, man. You name it.
I,
Name the price.
no, man, because I
Come
think
on,
it's
man.
really dependent on
Come
what
on,
Kyle
Dave.
does. No,
Come
I think it's dependent on what Kyle does. Like if Kyle loses the rest of the games, I agree with you.
Kyle not gonna
But
lose the
if
rest of the
Kyle gets to
games.
like 9-7, 10-6, I don't think. I think he. I think he. I think this is it for Cam.
Come on, put something on it, Dave. It could be a friendly wager, Dave. It ain't gotta be money.
That doesn't have to be money. But what the heck, man?
Just put something up, Dave. Come on, man. Let's make it fun. Let's make it interesting. All right, we'll come back.
Who you
We'll come
think?
back to it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Cause
How about Panther Nation? Y'all call in with some suggestions on what Dave should put up or what I should put up. All right, I'm in. I'm a go. Cam's coming back. What should the bet be? What should the bet be? Y'all, when y'all call in, when I open the lines up, y'all make y'all suggestions, okay? All right. Anything
Yeah,
else?
make
Anything else, Dave?
suggestions because I ain't thinking about it. All right. Nah, I'm good. Let's go to the next topic.
All right. So the next topic, Dave, happens to be this game. All right. So tough game to watch, man. I think Dave got the hold up, Dave. I think Dave got this. I think he got it ready. I think Dave loaded the clip. Hey, listen. The funny thing is we normally don't do this, but we recorded the Falcons preview episode before we recorded this, right? So a lot of what we were gonna say on that came out because we was talking about talking about the game. So I kind of know I kind of know where Dave was gonna go here, but I haven't heard his full spiel. So I think the clip is definitely loaded for Dave. But Dave, we lost the game 24-16
So
in a frozen tundra classic. In a frozen
it was a
tundra
good game.
classic. It was a very good game. It was tough to watch at times, but it was a good game, a fun game to watch with the snow and all that. But Dave, just let's give your initial thoughts. Don't give away too much because we got stock up, stock down. But give me your quick thoughts. Unless you want to just get right into stock up, stock down, we can get to it because
All
we
I'm
can
gonna
go
say
there,
is this,
Dave.
and then we can go to stock up, stock down. All I'm gonna say is this: y'all can't blame Cal for this one. He put it out there, man.
All right,
He put it out there.
all right. So let's get into stock up, stock down. Let's move on. All right. So stock up, stock down. Y'all know what time it is. Everybody's favorite portion of the show. Um, Dave, I put the trenches. I put the trenches at stock down. Okay, that includes both sides of the ball. Offensive line,
Jesus.
defensive line, both get stock down for me, man. Dave, let's talk about this run game. This is a problem. By now, everybody has seen the tweet. Hit him with it, Dave. What kind of pace are we on right now as far as defending the run? How bad is it?
We're so bad at defending the run, we might break the NFL record for giving them the most yards, guys,
And touchdowns.
and touchdowns.
Yes.
And you know the last. And I think you guys know about the 2008 Lions. They were pretty bad stopping the run in all facets. We're on pace to break that, which
Yeah.
is scary. They didn't win a game. Um, for those who don't know, they went 0-16. They were the first NFL team to go 0-16, and they couldn't stop the run to save their lives. And we're at that point. And when you guys watch cross enemy lines, I will give you a quick spoiler. I did not know who in the hell the Falcons were going to be bringing in at starting at running back because this toss of Devontae Freeman's going to be out, and I pretty much said it does not matter. Whoever that guy is, if it's Joe
Hey, Dave.
Smo,
Dave, real quick, can you tune yourself up or
if
get
it's
closer to
Joe
the mic? There you
Smo,
go.
if it's Joe Smo, sorry about that, guys. I'm very emotional. If it's Joe Smo, we're not going to be able to stop him. I know who it is now. I learned about an hour ago who it was. But the bottom line is we're not going to stop Brian Hill. It's not happening unless something happens. And then we even got into an argument about deciding on who who's calling defensive plays. Because there's no way. Well, it could be a way that it's still Rivera, but I'm starting to question that. But then again, it still could be.
So listen, we go to this. We had the scheme change, right? So we go this is another spoiler alert. I know I'm kind of giving it away, but um, we essentially sacrificed the run game to get more pressure on the quarterback. We went to this scheme, this 3-4 scheme, hybrid, whatever you want to call it, and we previewed this before it happened. We said that the 3-4 defense is susceptible to the run. We said this a long time ago, but this is really bad. Like this is really bad. Granted, we were leading the league in sacks at one point. We getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, but it had just severely opened up the run lanes, and it's not good. It's not good, man. It's not good, and I'm almost wondering why we didn't shift back to a 3-4 during the game. I'm sorry, a 4-3 during the game and adjust. We did not make any adjustments. I will say the defense tightened up in the fourth quarter. We made stops when we needed to, but by then the damage was just it was done. It was done. It was bad. It was bad, and we just got. I mean, dude, like I think Jones averaged 7 yards a carry, bro. 7 yards a carry. I mean, every time they handed the ball, he was just going for 10 yards. Like he would fall forward and get 10 yards. Like it's crazy. And then Jamal Williams, I think he averaged 5.5 yards per carry. Unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable. It's happened. Um, Tevin Coleman did it, and I think they were saying LaFleur and Shanahan were good friends, so they kind of knew. They called up, or LaFleur called up Shanahan and got some pointers. But yo, like, come on, like it's not cool, man. What, everybody's gonna call Shanahan now to get the plug on how to beat the Panthers in the run?
But the
Like,
thing is, they don't have to call Shanahan. I mean, these two teams weren't the first two teams that could run on us.
that's true.
We've been getting ran on all season.
That's true. You're
Like
right.
we've been getting gassed all season, and we're playing some more teams coming into the going into the end of this year that have really good run games. So and have good running backs at a minimum. So like this is not going to go away at this point. Like we have been horrendous against the run, and and I, it's unacceptable at this point. And now we have to start having a discussion. Like we've been criticizing Kyle all throughout this run, not us, but the chat and other people have been criticizing Kyle. But Kyle needs help, and his offensive line is not helping him.
Good,
Just
great,
like Cam needs help,
great segue,
he
Dave.
needed help.
That's a
So
great
like,
point. Great point. Because everybody said this. When Cam Newton was struggling, everybody was offensive line. He doesn't have an offensive line. But I'm from the mainstream. I'm not seeing anybody talk about that with Kyle. I mean, the dude was running for his damn life yesterday, and luckily he was able to escape a couple times. He was thrown under pressure, so. I mean, like, listen, he got to get that same excuse. If Cam go get that same excuse, Kyle got it too. I mean, he needs it more. He needs more protection than Cam. You know what I'm saying? He's not experienced as Cam. He can't read. He can't see what's coming. So like, listen, we just got beat bad in the trenches, both sides of the ball. It was not pretty. It was not pretty. Both sides.
oh,
Both
bad.
sides. We got beat really bad in the trenches. Really bad. Um, it's not good. It's not good. Our run defense is trash. Complete trash. Um, but listen, anything else
No,
on the trenches? Because it was bad. That's both sides, not just defense.
terrible,
Both sides
terrible.
of the ball was
It was
bad.
terrible
And all that to say, we still had
in
a
the
shot.
game.
We still had a shot. As bad as our run defense was, we still had a shot. We still had a shot. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right. So moving
We
on.
might be missing KK Mike,
That's true.
but we shouldn't be missing him this much. Like, let's be real about it. Like we missing KK. We should be missing him that much because KK is more of a pass rusher too.
Yeah. And
So
yeah.
so it's not like it. We're missing him, but we're not missing him to the point where we're about to hit historic levels of the run defense.
Yeah, and I want to say we miss KK, but at this point you've had time to adjust. If you don't like what you see and it's not performing well, you got to do something else. You got to bring somebody else in, do something, trade something. I mean, but if we just gonna stick with what we got, then these are the results we're gonna have to deal with. Because Rivera even came out and said, hey, it's the personnel's got to do their jobs. It's not on me. I can call the plays, but the personnel got to do their jobs. He's not out there doing, which is true, but still, it's not pretty. It's not pretty, man. It's not pretty. All right. So moving on, Dave. Moving on. Speaking of Ron Rivera, I gave Ron Rivera stock down. Dave, how you feel about that?
Why? Because he went for two.
Nah, man. I don't mind the 2 point. I don't mind the two
Yeah, I
point.
wasn't mad at like I I knew that he was gonna go to analytics because that's not a because like going
That's
for two
definitely
that
not a
two is
Rivera.
not a Ron Rivera
That's
thing to do.
that's not a Ron Rivera thing. Definitely not a Ron Rivera thing. I mean, but if you
And
if
what,
you if you watch the game, if you look at that's when the snow has started picking up. The snow was picking up, so maybe and analytics do say you get two shots, you're gonna probably convert one of them, and if we had converted that, and we would have scored on that last drive, we could have potentially won the game. All shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm not giving them stock down for the 2 point conversion. I don't I don't really care about that. My biggest point is the defense and the way they're playing. The be gashed up like that, this is a continuation. And I think if you're gonna be at the helm of calling the plays, you're gonna take that responsibility. You gotta take that heat. So that's why you get stock down for me. So anything else on Ron? That's essentially wraps. So we had talked about it at length already with the defense, and that's why Ron gets the stock down. Anything else over
um,
there?
nah, I'm not gonna disagree with the stock down. He earned it. That defense played atrocious, and he has to take responsibility, especially if he's still calling the plays. Now, I was debating whether or not if he's still calling the plays, but at this point it's irrelevant because the heat still is going to come with him whether he's calling the plays or not. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. He has to play better. I mean, he has to coach better than what he's coaching right now. Like we had multiple opportunities to win this game, and he just wasn't deliver. He didn't deliver. I mean, it's easy to say that the team didn't execute, and that's probably a fact that we probably
It
did
is
not
probably a
execute the way that
fact,
we should have.
but
It's
so
but still, like
but
we got to scheme better. Our run defense shouldn't be as atrocious as it is.
yeah, I
Like
agree.
this is not it's unacceptable how bad our run defense is.
Yeah, I agree that you get one game you get all right, these dudes they didn't execute, but at some point you got to catch the pattern, bro. Like this is not a one off. Like our run defense is really bad, and it's been bad, like consistently. So you've got to you got to do something. You can't just keep going out there running the same defense expecting different results. You got to go out there and change something. Call something else, something that works that fits more to what the personnel you have. You can't just keep going out there and running the same whatever and it's not working. So you got to catch this heat, Ron. So that's why you get stocked down. All right. So moving on. Anything else on Ron? All right, moving on. Dante Jackson gets stocked down for me, Dave. Um, I know he wasn't supposed to be there. This is not where he was supposed to be. All right, he was not supposed to be out there defending Devontae Adams. Excuse me. Um, but he got torched. B. He made it. He
Why?
did make a couple plays. He made a couple plays, but more often than not, my man's was getting torched. Second and 26. I mean, come on, man. Second and 26, you just get mollywopped. And I mean that's game changing plays. I mean he got torched really bad, consistently. Um,
He still has the same habits he had last year. He thinks his speed's gonna always. He thinks his speed's gonna save him. And dog, it's not gonna save you, bro. You gotta defend your guy.
yeah, yeah, man.
Like you gotta defend your coverage. Like it's unacceptable for some of the ways he got beat. And I'm hoping that he learns this. I like Dante, man. I just hope that he gets it.
And
You
if he,
know,
and if
he
he's injured,
understands.
I see some people. Yeah, he tweaked his groin or whatever. But if he's injured, he shouldn't be out there, man. I mean
Nope.
I mean you can't go out there playing the best receiver injured, and that goes once again on Ron. If he's hurt, you can't play him. Not covering the best receiver, put him on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? If he's hurt, but I don't know. I don't know, man. He had a bad game, and I think had Bradbury been in healthy, I think that would have been a different. It wouldn't have come that easy to Devontae. I think Devontae hasn't been killing people like that this year anyway. Like he's had a couple solid games, but he ain't been that guy. So let's not like pump up Devontae like he's some world beater because he ain't
It
been
sounds
that
like we're
guy.
gonna have to pay. It sounds like we have to pay Bradbury, yo.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what it
I
sounds
mean,
like to me.
okay. I
That,
mean, I
I
don't
mean
know. That
that's
that that was a little peek into the future of not paying Bradbury. So if you want to know what it looks like, It's a little peek into the future. That's if we don't address it. By the way, I'm sure we would address if we let Bradbury walk. I'm sure we would address it elsewhere. But that's just a little peek. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So
Just a peek.
just a little sneak peek. All right. So Dave, anything on Dante?
Nah, I'm good, man.
All right. All right, Dave. You ready for this one?
I want my breaking news,
So
man.
preface. Listen. Let me preface this by saying I did not have this entry in stock down. This is not my calling. Okay. So do
I want my
so
breaking
so
news,
do
King.
not. All right, I got you. Do not pin this on me. Okay. Do not pin this on me. All right. So hold on. I got you, Dave.
This week, last week, y'all
Luke.
tried to crucify me when I said this.
Luke on stock down. This is all Dave's
This
doing.
week,
Talk about it, Dave.
this week, you can't argue it. My man only had one solo tackle. You can't argue it. You can't. He had a rough day. He had a rough 2 weeks. It's not about being ungrateful. He had a rough 2 weeks. Like you gotta look, man. You gotta see it. You gotta call it how you see it. You guys be criticizing Cal when he had rough days. I understand. Luke's great. He's probably the best middle linebacker of all time. The best middle linebacker of all time. But he had a
Facts.
rough 2 weeks. He had a rough 2 weeks. And if you want to talk about run, we need him to not have rough weeks like this.
All right.
Especially when we know our front four is hurting.
He
I
is
need him to
he is
get
the
more than
goat.
one solo tackle.
I'm sticking by
That's how
that.
many tackles he had. He had one solo tackle. He had 4 total, 1 solo. You're the best linebacker in the game. I need more than that. But I know you guys are gonna go ahead and come at my head, and that's fine. And I'll take the heat. And I'm cool with taking the heat. But we gotta look at these numbers, man. You can't argue this at this point.
All right.
He had a rough 2 weeks.
So he did.
Shaq Thompson had 3 times as much solo tackles as him.
All right. So let me jump in here, Dave. Catch your breath. Catch your breath. Let me. So there's two
I'm
plays.
good.
There's two plays. In which I thought it was two bad plays on Luke. All right. So one was I think when he was covering Geronimo Allison and Geronimo was in the slot, and I think Aaron Rodgers gave Geronimo a little nod or a little audible or something, and I think Luke bit across the middle and Aaron Rodgers baited him. He baited him good. You typically don't see that happen to Luke, and he just threw it right over top of Luke's head to Geronimo Allison deep. I think that might have been a third down play. That wasn't a good play. And then I think on the goal line where he missed a tackle, pretty much heads up tackle. I think he missed. It was 1-on-1, and he missed the guy. I think he got held on that play too. He got held on that play if I'm not mistaken. But he had a nice little shot, and he didn't convert. But man, listen. So here's my question though. I think I asked this question in the beginning. I asked this question in the beginning of the year. I did think that this 3-4 defense was gonna hurt Luke. It puts him out of position. He can't like quarterback the defense like he normally can. That's why you're not seeing with him with as many tackles as he used to get. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. I might be tripping. I might be tripping, man. But
Nah,
listen,
yeah, I mean, listen, man. I don't want you guys to think that I'm like a Luke hater. Like, I want to clear something up. Luke's rookie year at training camp, I told him he was going to win Rookie of the Year. The following year, I told him he was going to win Defensive Player of the Year for the entire league. He did both. So like I respect Luke as a player. I respect Luke as a person. But I think even he's looking at film tonight to try to figure out what's going on because he's had a rough 2 weeks. It's been rough, and you know, and it's not like he doesn't have it in him because he's had some phenomenal games this season. But the last 2 weeks has been tough, particularly this week. It was rough, and we can say it's the weather conditions. But I will say this: like we already gave the stock down on defenses. When your top 3 players in tackles are cornerbacks and safeties,
yeah, that's
we
never
have a
good.
problem.
That's never good.
We have a problem, guys, and that's our leading tackler
Yeah.
is Luke. So he's got to have more than one.
Yeah, man, it was rough. But that being said, we were still in the game. We were still in it. We're in position. Yeah, and I think the defense as a whole, like I think a couple of you guys have said it, the defense as a whole had a rough time tackling. I mean, and then that's something else that goes back to Ron Rivera. Like we just can't tackle, man. Like the tackling is just atrocious. Like we could not wrap anybody up. Aaron Jones was just running through people.
All over us, man.
I'm just like, man, like it wasn't pretty, man. Secondary couldn't tackle. Lyman couldn't tackle. Luke couldn't tackle. And maybe it's because it was cold too, man. I give some credence to that too. It was freezing out there. A little tackling's a little bit harder, but listen, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yo, I got this Packers fan in here talking about Bobby Wagner's the best middle linebacker in the league, and I mean, don't get me wrong, Bobby Wagner is really good. He's
He is good.
ridiculous, but I'm
He is
giving it.
good.
It's Luke, dude.
He's not Luke though.
Like I'm not here to like Seattle. Seattle has benefited from having a phenomenal defense for consistently for a very long time, and Wagner was a big factor in that. All right, they had the Legion of Boom while Wagner was there. Like Wagner's had way more help than Luke's ever had.
That's a fact.
Let's clear that up.
That's a
So
fact. Huge
let's
fact.
not let's be real about it. So, Seattle's defense didn't start getting mediocre until this year. All right, you know. So let's not go there. When it's all said and done, Luke's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I
The
just need him to
goat.
step it up.
The goat. He had
I
a
need
couple
him to
bad
step it up.
games, man. Everybody's due a bad game, man. He's still the goat. All right. So moving on. Let's get to some good news, man. Let's get to some good news. All right, Kyle Allen, man. I thought, listen, I was gonna leave him off of this. As I was putting together the list in my head, I was gonna leave him off. Listen, he had a bad fumble with the snap, and he had a really bad interception and a couple more bad throws on top of that. But he gets a stock up for me. That moxie he had in the fourth, that last drive. I mean, considering how awful the offensive line played, considering how awful the offensive line played, I thought he manned up. He manned up, man. He manned up in that last drive, and that's where he gets the stock up for me because it wasn't pretty before that. Dave, anything on my man Kyle Allen?
He had an interesting game, like Ron said at the presser. He had an interesting game, but he showed he had grit and he showed that he had it. Like I think a lot of people didn't think he had it,
Yeah,
and he showed that on Sunday.
yeah. In the group me, it was very interesting because I posted it. I was like, dude, this is your time, Kyle. Like this is your statement. This is your time to that signature comeback win. This was it. And I felt like he did his part for the most part. I mean, again, I keep saying the offensive line did him no favors. Okay,
None.
no favors at all. Okay, no favors.
You know
And
how? Wait. You know how you guys were saying that Kyle was winning despite the defense? Kyle almost tied the game despite that line. And he kept us in this game despite that line. Despite that, he couldn't stop a soul. Yeah, on Sunday. Like he kept us in this game. I think you guys ain't ready to admit it yet, but he kept us in this game, and that's fine. I don't expect y'all to, but Kyle did his best that he could.
yeah. So, like I said, he had some bad throws. It wasn't pretty, but that last, and again, I said it. If he didn't come back the way he did, he would not have been on this list. That comeback was great. Okay, and he almost got it there. And listen, it's a lot of hypotheticals. What if Jair returns that pick six? I mean, he didn't do it. I mean, like, what if we can play that game? He didn't do it. So what do you want him to do?
He didn't do it.
He didn't do it. He had his chance. He didn't do it.
And shout out to God of Blackness for the donation.
Yeah,
I didn't
appreciate
forget
that.
about you, bro.
Appreciate that. But yeah, and then had McCaffrey got one more inch. Um, pause. We could have. We talking a whole nother. It's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother topic. What if we got the two
There's
point
another
conversion?
topic that we didn't talk about.
What's up?
That freaking roughing the passer call in the end zone.
Oh yeah, I was gonna put the refs on stock down, but I thought y'all would have felt some type of way because the refs,
Nah, F all that. They deserve it. I mean, That was atrocious, man. And then what bothered me more than anything else, like they took that long time to do that drive. We stopped them at the end of the half, which was a phenomenal play by Jericho. That probably was the best play the defense did all day.
Yeah.
And then the commentator's like, well, I guess it didn't matter. I'm like, yeah, the heck it
Yeah,
did.
cause
Like we
we
could have
we
had the
would
ball at like
we
the
would have had
50.
yeah we would have had great field position.
Oh my god, like we would have phenomenal field position. We could have potentially scored something. Look, man, I I didn't know who was on start down. I just asked if Luke was there, and
I
they
was
said
go-
we got to put Luke there.
I was go-
That's how
I
that's how the
I
conversation
was
went.
gonna put the refs up, but y'all so sensitive. Oh, you can't blame the refs. You can't. So
You could
I
have
left
used
it
the
off.
picture I had with the ref, and
I
I was
left
like, if that was him,
I
we're
left
gonna
it
have to have
off.
a
I left
discussion.
it off because y'all sensitive. Um, but yeah. Anyway, still, man. Anyway, it is what it is. But Kyle Allen, you did a good job that last drive. That gets you on stock up because before that it wasn't looking pretty. All right, so moving on. DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel both get stock up. DJ Moore registers another 100-yard game, so that's back-to-back 100-yard games for DJ Moore. Think that Steve Smith comment got to him, Dave? Cause he's
He
balling right
did.
now. He's balling right now. DJ is balling. You got that, Dave?
got a black, got a blackness. You remember me saying Luke while his trade Luke while his value was up is good and no concussions. Nah, I remember you saying it, but
I
I
do
still don't
remember
think
you
it's
saying that,
correct.
but you still bugging.
Yeah, I stand. I'm good. I'm not interested in trading Luke ever. Um, but yeah, these guys ball. These guys had a good day.
Yeah, Curtis is starting to become a touchdown machine. Like, I mean, it's impressive. Like like DJ's getting all the yards, but Curtis getting all the touchdowns. It's really weird. But like DJ is killing people on them slants, and Kyle is timing him up. Is throwing the dimes pretty solid there on those slants. Cause that's a lot of his yards are coming off those slant plays and getting a little bit of yak. But I like how they're getting DJ the ball, get it to him early, let him create. He's good with the ball in his hands, and then not to mention that Dave, he's actually he's returning punts too. So hopefully he does not revert back to the Redskins game last year, where he was muffing punts all over the place, and fumbling and whatnot. Hopefully he doesn't go back to that. But you know, it's good. We need to get this man the ball by any means necessary. So, um, listen, I think as those two guys perform, I mean, it helps Kyle Allen out too, man. Kyle Allen, he did have a career day too. I didn't mention that he had 300 plus. I think it was 301 uh, passing yards for a career high.
Let's see what that number was. Yeah, he did
Uh,
have a career high.
so I think that all
307.
307,
307.
307. So it all coincides, man. They're both playing well. The receivers are playing well, and And old man Olsen's playing well too. Olsen, he also gets stock up. He had great game. Little miscommunication there with Kyle Allen. I think he was pissed. I think that was like a third down play where Kyle Allen missed him. It was like an option route, and he sat in the zone, and Kyle thought he was going elsewhere, and he didn't. He was a little frustrated there, but as those, this takes time. The timing takes time. They got to know where each other's gonna be. All the stuff is gonna take time. I think Kyle and the receivers and the tight end get better over time. But yeah, man,
Greg made an interesting comment about Kyle.
what do you say?
He said, like, this is one of the greatest performances that he played with the quarterback in a very long time. I don't have the quote on me, but he gave Kyle like one of the most ultimate compliments for a quarterback,
Yeah,
particularly in the fourth quarter. So I mean
I mean,
that says a lot.
what is he supposed to say though? Like it was like the 10th, just an average performance. Like
No, but like to say that that was one of the gutsiest performances he's ever seen.
considering the
He was
circumstances, the snow, the terrible O line, like what he had to drive all the way from the 10-yard line, from the opposite 10-yard line, or was it closer than that? I can't remember, but it felt like it was pretty deep. But yeah, man, I
yeah.
mean, nah, you gotta give your man some confidence, man. Like he gotta say that. He gotta say that. But all right.
Yeah.
So I think that's all I had. Yeah, that's all I had for stock up. Did I miss anybody for stock up, Dave? Could anybody else
Um,
got stock up?
Nah, well, I mean, McCaffrey,
Yeah, I could have put
McCaffrey did
McCaffrey there.
McCaffrey things, but
Yeah,
I mean,
that's starting to become routine, man. Like,
it's routine.
yeah.
Like he kind of had a down day from what I'm used to. I mean, he didn't give me my 200 all purpose. Damn it, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
I
But
could have. I
but
did
he had a decent day. He had a good day.
a very
He
good
had
day.
a
Had a
really
hundred,
good day
had a
for a
hundred
regular
plus,
running back.
100 plus rushing.
Yeah, he had 100 yards rushing.
I think
He had
30,
six
30 some
catches.
yards receiving. Yeah, he had a good day,
Yeah,
man.
you know.
It's
But that's like a
that's
regular day for him. That's
it
like a
is.
typical. Like that's why he ain't on stock up, guys. Is what I'm getting at.
That's
Like he,
exactly that's what I'm trying
that
to say.
like
Yeah, that's
you know,
exactly what we're
he
saying.
had a typical McCaffrey day. He didn't have like a phenomenal McCaffrey day. So you know,
All right. That being said, let me open up these phone lines real quick and so y'all could sound off. I think there was some feelings being had in the in the
Drake had
chat.
some feelings this weekend too,
I
man.
saw
You heard
that.
what happened to Drake?
I saw that he got booed.
I did some research to figure out what happened, and I understand why the crowd was mad, but it's
Yeah,
kind of the crowd's fault too. So
yeah. So phone.
while the first
Oh, go ahead. Then.
while the first caller goes, I'll explain this. Drake was a surprise appearance at Tyler the Creator's festival. So the fans were under the impression that Frank Ocean was going to close it. So Drake came out, performed some songs, he did like 2 or 3 songs, and Drake was like, "Do you want any more?" And everybody was like, "No, because we want no, 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 we want Frank." So Drake was like, "Well, I'm out. Have a good one." And he left, and the show ended. There was no Frank Ocean.
Wow.
They could have had Drake for 30 more minutes, and they blew it because they thought they knew who was going to be closing the show. But because it was a surprise. Drake was a surprise too. But I digress. 704, what you got, buddy?
Not much. How's it going?
What up?
What's up, man?
Not much. Noli here. Overall, good show as usual. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. The run defense, I don't think that's scheme. I think that's more of personnel at this point because we actually haven't been playing the 3-4 that much. If you remember, especially the beginning part of the year, we were running a lot of 4-3. And just watching the tape as best as I can, a lot of the gas runs were also happening in the 4-3. So I don't think it's a 3-4, 4-3. I think it's just more of a personnel issue. McCoy is more of a pass rushing D tackle as opposed to run stopping. And Poe, I've been saying it since last year, he's been getting washed quite a bit, even though he's improved as a pass rusher this year. So that's more personnel and coaching and getting it right. I think we still struggle with KK because even before KK got hurt, we struggled against the Rams and the Bucks with
I
that.
agree there.
The Luke with the stock down, he's actually on pace for 100. I know it's 10 games, and the on pace guy, but he's actually on pace for 145 tackles this year. That would be the fourth most of his career. So his tackles are up, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of looked bad these past couple games. But I'll be interested to see if they re-sign Shaq. I came into the podcast a little late tonight, so I don't know if you talked about it, but I still think, assuming Hurney is back, I still think it's a wait-and-see mode for Shaq and Bradbury as far as getting re-signed. The fact that Hurney is making them play out their fifth year and fourth year for Bradbury is telling. I don't think it's a lock that they're both to come back. And at most, I see one coming back. And lastly, about Cam, I think people need to go back and watch that David Tepper interview from January this past year. Granted, this is before he had the foot injury, but he said quite a lot in that interview. He mentioned the shoulder, but he also talked about in that interview how it was apparent we could not throw the ball down the field. If he's watching these games with Kyle Allen, he sees that we cannot throw the ball down the field. So I do not think Kyle Allen is in the future plans. There's no way.
Well, Kyle has a shoulder issue too, though.
Oh, is that shots fired? Are they not reporting it?
No, they did report. He was on
Oh,
the injury report. Like he
yeah.
sat. He has a
That
shoulder
is true.
problem too.
Yeah,
But
because
when did this
he
come
went at
about?
I
Ron
don't know
about
when it
that.
happened. I don't know when it happened, but I know that he had an issue and they reported it.
Yeah, because Ron said they asked him during the presser, like, why did you report this injury? And Ron was like, why did you report Kyle being hurt, and he was like, because I have to. Like, he's got a shoulder problem. I have to. That's the rules. I have to report when somebody's
To
hurt.
me, though, I don't know if whatever it is. I mean, the guy is consistently missing these dudes.
Mm,
They're getting open,
I agree
and
that
I don't know if it's the shoulder.
I
I just think it's just Kyle. I
I
mean, I know he showed that deep ball against. Go ahead, sorry, Rashad,
no
go
no
ahead.
no, my fault. I agree that he's missing Curtis a lot, but I think he is. There has been, like, you can throw out those, but there have been some great throws. Like, he's had some amazing throws where he's dropped the ball in. They're not deep
Oh,
balls,
don't
but
get
he's dropping
his.
these balls in like pretty good
Oh,
balls.
I agree. I think his short and intermediate, for the most part, is good. But for me, like, I mean, what's clear as tape, and this is for anybody. Like, you remember that Curtis Samuel touchdown. Granted, it was against the JV squad of the Saints, but you remember that Curtis Samuel touchdown he had week 17 last year? Or, I
Yep.
mean, he just aired it out. Like, that's been completely absent from our offense. Okay, I would rather this man overthrow these receivers, but he's just underthrowing it
But
consistently. Like, we have not been able to. Go
how do
ahead.
we know it's not a shoulder issue though? Since they reported it this time, how do we not know that? I mean, they did it for Cam too. Like, how do we not know? It could. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying, how do we
I
not know
don't
that?
think it's.
I'm
If the
not I'm
shoulder
not
was
trying.
that,
We're not
it's
starting
just
Will
it's
Greer unless the shoulder's really, really bad.
yeah. And my thing is, I guess when did this happen? Because against Arizona, granted we didn't have a deep ball, but I mean he was kind of slinging it around the yard, you know. And I'm not saying throw a ball deep just for the sake of it, but we've seen on tape over the past couple of weeks. I mean, Curtis and DJ just are cooking dudes,
Yeah.
and you could be had for 40, 50-yard touchdowns. So that element, is missing. So I'll be interested. I got to hear it from a local reporter first. I'm not going to believe any of these national media talking about it. He's likely gone. No. Once the
Yeah.
local reporters start reporting it like they did, remember when we let Steve Smith go, you heard rumblings from the local reporters first. Then it spread. I'm going to wait for that to happen.
Well, I'll wait and see
But
what Jeremy tells me, man. I only trust Jeremy. No,
I'm going
I'm
to wait for the
serious.
local reporters.
I only trust
Oh,
Jeremy
yeah, yeah.
Allen, man. If Jeremy says it, I
Really?
believe it. Yeah, if Jeremy says it, I believe it. I like,
Oh,
he's on the inside for the most part. If Jeremy's thinking that something's gonna give, I buy it.
yeah, that's true. He has called a lot of stuff. But overall, I'm gonna wait and see. Right now, I don't see this team making the playoffs. I think it's just the NFC is too loaded
Yeah.
with Minnesota and all these other teams. But take it one game at a time. Enjoy while I can, and hopefully, we'll have Cam coming back next year. But I know this is something we'll talk about as the weeks go along. But
Yep.
yeah, that's kind of where I am.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling. I gotta move on. Got some more calls to get to.
No problem.
All right,
All
man.
Appreciate it,
right.
Noah.
See you. Talk to you later. No problem.
All right. 804.
What's up? It's Jason. How you doing?
Jason, what's good,
Jason,
bro?
what's up, man?
A few things. One, you all really hounded the line play on both sides of the ball, and I thought this game is really just a defensive side of the ball. Two big things with the offensive side of the ball that I think where you saw the play slip. One was Daly going out.
Yes, true.
As soon as Daly went out, they were hounding Williams.
That's true.
Um, Two was the weather and the score time and score. So like we were down 2 scores, the weather started to come in. Like there, if you go back and watch that play where Allen got absolutely demolished, Matt Paradis had a great block, but he was on skates, and you literally just see him slide back. So the footing
That's true.
got to the point where it was positive for anyone who was going forward, running backs, wide receivers, defensive linemen, and anyone going backwards. It was negative for. So I don't think that it was as bad as we really think. I mean, we only took 3 sacks.
Yeah, because Kyle had to run for his life.
Yeah, all right. Wait. So okay. So why didn't we get at Rodgers? I don't think we got at Rodgers nearly as much as we needed to.
Nah.
I mean, we got at Rodgers twice. I mean, they got to us 3 times. That's pretty even.
Yeah, that's even.
Yeah, but
But my
Ro-
thing is, like, both sides had to deal with the footing. So
I
It's
think
I
just
what
know, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at the stats, they were even. They got 3 sacks, we have 2 sacks. That's not a huge
I,
discrepancy.
I wouldn't go by sacks. I would go by pressures. And
yeah.
I don't know those numbers, but dude, I think Rodgers is clearly way more mobile and has way more pocket presence than Kyle Allen does, and he can navigate the pocket something vicious. So can't really compare the two on that. But I will say I saw what I saw, and I agree with you that footing could have been a problem, but Kyle was running for his life, bro. Like he was like he would drop back, and for some I don't know for some odd reason, some of the plays on like third down they were too long developing. Considering that they were getting after us, we could have got the ball out a little bit quicker. But Kyle, listen, I do agree with your point that as soon as Daly went out, it got worse. It was already bad, but I think it got far worse when Daly went out. Darrell Williams did not look good, so I agree with a lot of what you're saying.
Okay, so second point was with Kuechly. I think that
That's
why
Dave.
we're seeing him, the stock down for him. Um, like give credit to where credit is due, right? Like anytime, like throughout the years, you watch a Luke Kuechly interview, he's always giving credit to the guys up front because he'll say like, Star ate up this block, I was able to go make this tackle, KK did this, blah 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 blah, and now he doesn't have either of those two guys. We're left with Poe and Gerald, who aren't. Gerald's an aging veteran, Poe is an aging veteran. Neither have been very great this year overall in the run defense. And as a result, you're seeing Luke get swallowed up by guards in the run game. So, yeah, he has to fight through way more tackles than he does. So he's going to have games like this if the front guys aren't keeping the offensive lineman off of him.
That's true. I agree there.
And then lastly, kind of just moving forward, I know I was pretty in like a melancholy state last week because this is just kind of how I felt watching the game. Is just I feel like the cap on this team is an 8-8, 9-7 team with the defense where it is. I think that Kyle Allen's performance was kind of indicative of who he is. Like, yes, he's this guy that has the potential to throw for 280, whatever, but he's also going to give you some turnovers, fumble the ball once, and like that's who he is. It's been kind of, we've had him for how many games now? 8 games. Like that's a good enough sample size. And I think at the end of the season, we're going to be talking about, oh, well, we beat the teams we were, like we should beat Washington. We should beat Atlanta once. I think we'll lose to New Orleans twice. I think we'll split between the Colts and the Seahawks. Like, and at the end of the day, that's an 8-8 football club, 9-7 at best. Where do you go from there if you're choosing to go on from Newton?
That's a Dave. I don't know, man. That's why you keep Cam, man. You keep Cam, let him.
No, I completely agree. I told Noli this. To me, it's just a gut feeling that this is the end of the road for Cam. I agree with you. I don't think Cam and the organization, in terms of his health and his well-being, are on the same page. I don't think Cam wanted to be IR'd, and I think that's why Cam is looking at getting surgery so he can be ready and quote-unquote healthy for if I'm not in Carolina. That way I'm healthy wherever I'm going to be. So that leaves me thinking, okay, well, if, like, again, I'm not on board with getting rid of Cam. But I'm thinking a step ahead. If we do, and we're left with Kyle, to me the ceiling is 8-8, 9-7. That's it. And we're kind of in purgatory.
But we're on the same page, Sam, because I think the fact that Cam is opting to get surgery tells me that he is preparing to not be on this team. And I don't think Carolina's going to cut him, but I think Carolina will trade him.
I agree with you.
I
And
think
again,
a trade is
my
more
point
likely. I think a trade is more likely than him just getting cut. That's not
I
happening.
don't think he's getting cut. I think they'll do the cut if they feel like it makes the most sense to do the cut. Because if it's
Nah.
a situation where they feel like, all right, we're not going to really play, we're going to keep Kyle, then they're gonna have to release him. If they can't trade him, they're gonna have to release him. But I think they're gonna keep their cards tight so they can get the trade value for him. But I think I could see a scenario, depending on how Kyle plays. Once again, I can see a scenario that we cut Cam. but it's all based on how well Kyle plays. The more likely scenario that he's going to get traded to Chicago or Denver.
Yeah, I agree.
I
But
prefer Denver
again,
because Denver still has a first round pick.
I don't care if it's a cut or a trade. That doesn't matter to me. My point is, Kyle Allen moving forward. The ceiling with Kyle Allen at the quarterback helm is 9-7, missing the playoffs. What do we do with that? Like that's why I'm so like, that's why I was so melancholy last week, because like that's just NFL purgatory, and there's not like you can't really get better because you're not going to get a good draft pick, and there's too much pride to tank. So you're just stuck being the Tennessee Titans for however long.
We were just talking about that. We were just talking
It's
about
funny
that,
you say
man.
that.
We were just
Yo,
talking
like
about
we were
that.
off the air, and I was telling the story, and I guess I'll tell everybody the story.
Damn.
So at my job,
That's
man,
funny.
we have like I know like one Titans fan at my job, and after the game against the Titans, he was like irritated by the fact that they didn't run the ball. He was just angry, and the last comment he said was, "We'll mess around and beat Kansas City next week after losing to you guys," and that's exactly what they did on Sunday. So, and he's like, "We're going to be 8-8, and then we're not going to be able to get a good quarterback." I'm irritated because I'm looking at Lamar Jackson, and he's out here ball out of control, and his coach is actually catering the offense around him versus the other way around. We did with Mariota, so like he's just irritated about the fact that they're going to be 8-8 again or 9-7. So it's funny.
Yeah, I would personally just rather be bad, awful, like 1 and whatever for a year, 2 and whatever for a year, knowing okay we're going to get a franchise quarterback and start a rebuild and being
if that happens, if that happens, you have more than a new quarterback.
Oh, absolutely.
And maybe that's needed. So.
Yeah, that's all I got for this week.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling. All right, last 704. What's good?
What's up, bro?
What's
Can
up?
y'all hear me good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So, as far as the offense is concerned, I think, Kyle Allen played pretty well. It seems like some people are starting to come around a little bit on him. I do think he was under a lot of duress. But as far as that is concerned, with Cam Newton, I'm be honest with you, I've been out on Cam. I feel like we need to let him go because you're gonna save too much money toward the cap. And like I was saying in the chat, you'll be able to re-sign Shaq and re-sign James Bradbury. Even though James Bradbury ain't a Pro Bowler per se, he's still solid. You're not gonna have Pro Bowlers all over the field, but if you could get solid play, that'd be good. And I think that when we lost Starr, that hurt us because you're not able to keep Lyman off of Luke. And that's when Luke is most effective, when he's able just to be able to run sideline. Now, I do think the 3-4 scheme has hurt him a little bit, but this is his first year in the 3-4 scheme in the NFL. So I do think that, if you let go of Cam, you're able to bring back those guys. You're able to bolster that defense, which will make it better. And then you don't have to have an MVP quarterback to go out there and put the game on his shoulders and win the ball game. He could be a game manager because you have a defense that's going to hold teams under 20 points. So I feel like that's the way they need to go. I do think that they're going to let go of Cam. That all the signs to me look like they're going to let go of Cam. I do think they'll trade him and not cut him. But I guess I was just going to see what you guys were thinking about that.
Go ahead, Dave.
About Cam?
Yeah.
Or Kyle?
Both.
Cam, we're gonna. I just see us trading Cam at this point in the offseason, man. That's just my opinion. I just think we're gonna trade Cam. I think Cam's getting the surgery knowing that he's probably gonna get traded.
Yeah. Do you think saving that money could be used elsewhere to make the team as a whole better around Kyle Allen?
Yeah,
and I'm not saying Kyle Allen's the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We could sign our left tackle. We could go find a left tackle. We could decide if we want to pay Shaq or Bradbury. We could do a lot of things with that cap space.
But I think, just to be real, I think a lot of that can be done without having to cut Cam. Like, we've got a nice amount of cap. Obviously, we'll get more if we let him go, but it's only so much you can do with the cap space. I mean, I'm
Well,
not.
I
I'm
feel
not
like
there,
the
man. I'm
Lions.
not there, man. Listen, I think everybody,
Yeah, I feel you. I
everybody
feel
needs
you.
to come back. Everybody needs to come back. Give it one last hurrah, lame duck, whatever. What y'all want to do? Everybody come back. Give it one more go, and let's let's
I
let's
remember the
keep it
last.
like
I
that.
remember the last time we had a lame duck coach.
Dave,
Yeah, yeah,
You remember when we had a lame duck coach?
yes, Dave.
yeah, yeah.
What happened?
We remember. Yeah, fired.
No, no, no. He didn't get fired. He didn't get his contract renewed. I'm talking about the record. We went 2-14.
Mhm.
Uh,
That brought us
yeah,
Cam Newton.
with Jimmy Clausen as quarterback.
No, I mean, still.
Yeah.
It's just,
I
my
mean,
point
but
is,
Complete,
man,
I'm
completely different
having a
scenario.
lame duck coach is never a good situation.
It's not
you
good.
know,
No,
I
it's
like
not. But
Ron. I like Ron though. I think Ron is a really good coach. I want to see Ron back. I'm just like, if you let go of Bradbury or Shaq, you're losing the guy at their position. Now you're looking toward having to draft somebody else at their position. Yeah, some people may not. I'm not all the way out on Jermaine Carter, but at the same time, you could possibly have to draft somebody else to oppose to when you go and get that defensive tackle to help keep guys off Luke and let Luke play the way he was, or get the safety that everybody be wanting. You know what I'm saying? Greg is not, he's going to hang it up soon. I really do like Greg Little. I think he can work out at left tackle. He just got to stay healthy.
nah, man. I'm,
But,
I'm not
I
putting no.
mean,
I'm not putting no faith in Greg Little for anything. Not with that. Not with that kind of concussion history. Nah, man. At
yeah,
playing offensive line too. That's all that is.
yeah,
Is like helmet to helmet trenches. I'm not putting no faith in Greg Little moving forward. Sorry,
I feel you.
not
I
me.
feel you. But that's my opinion on it.
All right, man.
I just think that, that's what they need to do. But y'all boys keep pounding though.
All right, man. Keep
Yes,
pounding,
man.
bro.
You too as well. Thank
Right.
you. Keep pounding.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it, man. A lot of Cam Newton talk. Listen, I say let it play out, man. Just let it play out. It's no need for us to play armchair GM right now. Like we just gotta let it play out. We can talk hypotheticals, but at the end of the day, just we have no control over this situation.
Hey, I did control, man. I back Cam up more than most folks in here, but I understand the NFL's a business.
It is a business. That's a fact.
The NFL's a business, bro. And like, do I enjoy how Cam is being depicted in the media? No, I never enjoyed it. I haven't enjoyed it since he's been in the league because I know what it looks like. And I saw a picture that was posted in a different group me, and it showed Shannon Sharp's top 5 MVP candidates.
Yeah, I
And
saw
there were
that.
4 quarterbacks and 1 running back. The 4 quarterbacks were black. The 1 running back is white, and it's Christopher McCaffrey. So I thought that was interesting because now the league is changing. The league is changing, and the undefeated talked about this year being the year of the black quarterback, and we're getting to see it. So I hate the fact the way the Cam was treated in the media, and now it's okay. But when he first got in the league, it wasn't okay. So I think he's getting dragged in the media. I just think the NFL is a business, and if you're coming off of a foot, you just came off of shoulder surgery, you hurt your foot, you're about to have major foot surgery. I think it's a tough sell to keep him on the roster with his contract coming up. Let somebody else take that risk because he's going to want at least $30 million, probably more. He's probably going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league in 2021.
Yeah. I mean that's just back pay at
So
that point.
yeah, like somebody, Denver, Chicago, somebody's going to pay him a load. But the media always destroys Cam, man, because it's not normal to them. That's the problem. Just like the other quarterbacks that are MVP candidates, it's not normal to them.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see, interesting to watch at the
Yeah.
second half of this season. Sorry for me going all wokeness on you guys, but just things that I notice occasionally.
Yeah. All right. So Dave, that being said, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We do have the Crossing Enemy Lines episode with the Falcons coming up. We did record it already, and I plan on putting that out tomorrow. Um, so you'll have that. It's pretty interesting, pretty funny dudes. They're not as I guess technical or analytical as the previous guys we had. It's still a good episode. Still fun dudes. I think we're gonna go on their show too at some point down the road. But yeah, fun dudes. Um, and I think a lot of y'all think like one of the cats. So um, well, it should be very interesting view for a lot of y'all. But That being said, Dave, anything else?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm about to go watch the rest of this Monday night game, beat Luigi's Mansion 3, and take care of my wife this week.
All right. That being said, we gonna get out of here. Peace out. Keep pounding.